A roar tears through the mist, signaling that the decisive hour in this unforgiving arena has arrived. Tensed muscle coils, ready to surge forward in a powerful encircling strike. Each breath carries a challenge. Each stride forward lands like a direct and commanding advance. Without relying on numbers, the lion controls the momentum through precision and firm resolve. When the dust finally settles, the one who delivers the final decisive move stands as the true holder of the crown. In the Serengeti, sharp, high-pitched laughter echoes across the plains, signaling the start of a tightening encirclement. Adult hyenas, armed with a bite force of nearly 1,100 pounds per square inch, spread out in formation, challenging the fragile order of this land. Their focus is a hard-earned carcass the lionesses secured after hours of exhausting effort. Outnumbered, the lionesses brace themselves against the relentless pressure of nearly 20 coordinated rivals. Tension stretches on until a male lion appears. There is no negotiation. The dominant male surges forward with explosive speed, driving straight through the ring with commanding force. A decisive swipe of his paw disrupts the formation. The leading hyena loses footing, and the entire rhythm of coordination unravels at once. The clan is forced to retreat as a powerful roar rolls across the grasslands. This is not merely a contest over food, but another chapter in a long-standing rivalry. On these plains, peace exists only as a brief pause between confrontations, where hesitation can carry the highest cost. Beneath the blazing sun of the savanna, an epic confrontation unfolds. Proud predators challenge the living fortress of the grasslands, the African elephant. Weighing up to 13,000 pounds, a full-grown adult stands like a moving mountain. Yet today, that mountain is surrounded from every side. Rather than waiting in concealment, nearly 15 lions choose a direct approach. They close in with clearly defined roles, turning the hunt into a calculated campaign. Seasoned lionesses surge from behind, gripping onto skin nearly an inch thick, holding firm through powerful shifts and sudden turns. Other members circle constantly, adjusting angles of pressure and forcing the massive figure to expend energy bit by bit. The adult elephant responds with sweeping trunk movements, powerful and precise, transforming pursuit into a forceful warning. Yet when the focus turns to a younger or weakened individual, the circle tightens quickly. Such rare victories provide sustenance for days, but they also reinforce an unforgiving rule. On the savanna, patience and coordination define the line between survival and disappearance. Along the winding rivers of the savanna, the Nile crocodile lies motionless like a drifting log, concealing jaws capable of delivering up to 3,700 psi of bite force, one of the strongest bites on the planet. A single mistimed ripple can turn the water's edge into a life-or-death boundary for any creature that bends down to drink or attempts to cross the current. Yet the dry season reshapes that familiar order. As water levels recede, the marsh predator is forced to remain on land for longer stretches, and that is when a pride of lions enters the scene. They form a wide arc, pressing from behind while blocking the slide back toward the one place that gives the crocodile its advantage: the water. If the encounter happens close to the river, a powerful twist of the body can create an opening for escape. But when the distance from the shoreline grows, the balance shifts toward the hunting cats. After only a few decisive moments of restraint, the ambush predator loses its position. On the savanna, water does more than sustain life. It determines who holds dominance at the boundary between two worlds. And every confrontation here becomes another chapter in the never-ending redistribution of territory. On the savanna grasslands, the giraffe is not only a symbol of grace at over 16 feet tall, but also a formidable moving fortress. Its most powerful defense is a kick delivering more than 2,000 pounds of force, enough to make any predator hesitate in an instant. Yet for lions, risk is always tied to significant reward. They often focus on younger individuals or those separated from the group. When opportunity appears, the pride moves in boldly, pressing from multiple directions. A few attempt to latch onto the flank to disrupt the giraffe's rhythm and unbalance its stride. In that critical moment, the long legs strike out in a powerful defensive reaction. The lions do not need to prevail immediately. They only need to apply enough pressure to unsettle the giraffe and expose a brief opening. For a mother giraffe, a defensive kick may unintentionally connect with a calf standing too close, causing it to fall and gradually lose strength. The pride then waits patiently until the mother is forced to move away before stepping in to claim the opportunity. When the dust settles, the savanna returns to stillness. Only the faint whisper of wind remains, carrying the echo of a confrontation where instinct and fate intersect for a fleeting moment. African wild dogs sweep across the savanna like a living arrow, formation tight, turning in perfect unison, with a hunting success rate close to 80% that leaves them with few rivals. Yet at times, that confidence carries the pack too close to an invisible boundary. Within pursuit range, a male lion rests beneath the shade of a tree, amber eyes fixed on the energetic competitors moving through his territory. For him, this is not a moment of sharing, but one of reaffirming territorial control. As the pack crosses his patrol line, a massive frame rises without warning. One individual caught out of sync absorbs a single overpowering strike, and within seconds, the balance of strength is firmly reestablished. The formation breaks. Panicked strides shatter the coordination that once defined their greatest advantage. The lion does not engage in a prolonged chase. Only the slowest link needs to be brought down to restore order. The savanna quickly returns to stillness. In this ecosystem, even among predators, not every species holds the upper hand when distance closes, and order is often reset in brief, decisive encounters. Across the grasslands, a herd of zebras, like a flowing curtain of stripes, moves through the sea of grass in steady calm. Each individual typically weighs around 770 pounds, with spring-loaded legs capable of reaching speeds over 40 miles per hour. When the herd accelerates together, the overlapping black and white patterns blur distance and direction, forming a collective illusion that guards every stride. For a lion, opportunity is never easy. Only about 25% of hunts lead to success. It does not charge into an intact wall of stripes. It stays low to the ground, waiting for favorable wind and a fleeting gap in the formation. When the distance closes, stillness breaks into pounding hooves and rising dust. The zebras surge forward, striving to maintain their protective formation. The chase lasts only seconds, yet it determines everything. The focus is not the strongest individual, but the one that falters after a long run. A weakness revealed in a single moment. If the attempt fails, the lion withdraws without hesitation, conserving strength for another opportunity. On the savanna, instinct is never wasted. It is refined through every unfinished pursuit. For lions, the buffalo is both rewarding and risky. A mistimed approach can result in serious injury, so they usually hunt as a coordinated group. Lionesses rush in to distract and unsettle the formation, while a male applies pressure, forcing the herd to split or blocking escape routes. When a weaker individual is drawn away from the herd's shield, the pride accelerates, pressing at the flank, holding the shoulder, and seeking control. The success rate against buffalo is only about 30%. Yet when successful, the energy gained can sustain the pride for days. If the attempt fails, the buffalo delivers the lesson. On the savanna, the intended target can become the force that pushes back. reversing the balance through unity and resolve. The calm surface suddenly shatters, erasing the last margin of safety. From the swamp, the crocodile appears like a hunting machine refined for a decisive moment. No extra sound, no wasted motion, only total control of the space ahead. Each passing beat becomes a tense battle of timing, where instinct and precision merge into one. Beneath the deep water, the rules are reset by the will of the one holding the advantage. On the African savanna, the lion stands as a symbol of explosive power, weighing around 500 pounds, and capable of bursts reaching up to 50 miles per hour on dry ground. But that authority fades at the water's edge. For lions, a river is both a source of life and the boundary of a different set of rules, where crocodiles wait in silence. The two species rarely seek direct confrontation. They cross paths because territories overlap and survival demands it. When a young or inexperienced lion steps within a few feet of the bank, the surface that seems calm can change in an instant. A short, precise surge pulls the target away from stable footing, prompting warning roars as the pride pulls back and restores a safe distance. The balance shifts only when a crocodile moves several yards onto land. On solid ground, thick armor and a heavy frame reduce its ability to maneuver. Lions then use speed and coordination to pressure the opponent back towards the water. If retreat is delayed, the crocodile can slip into a disadvantage, a cost nature calculates without hesitation. At this boundary, power does not belong to the strongest, but to the one that commands the right space at the right moment. Leaving Africa behind, Brazil's Pantanal reveals a completely different arena of survival. This is the domain of the Yacaré caiman, reptiles reaching about 8 feet in length and weighing roughly 120 pounds, enough to make most aquatic life keep its distance. Yet even in these familiar wetlands, they are not entirely secure. Within the dense riverside vegetation, another predator watches in silence. The jaguar, South America's most formidable big cat. Unlike lions, jaguars have developed a distinct strategy. With a bite force reaching around 1,500 pounds per square inch, the strongest among big cats relative to body size, and with strong swimming and diving ability, the jaguar turns the water's edge into an extension of its hunting ground. The encounter begins with patience. From thick cover, a jaguar weighing about 200 pounds tracks a caiman basking on a sandbank or drifting quietly near shore. When the moment is right, It erupts in a brief burst, closing in with precise accuracy. A well-placed jaw hold quickly strips the opponent of any effective resistance. Even as the caiman attempts to return to the water, the jaguar's shoulder strength and bite maintain control. When the struggle ends, the big cat drags the target up the bank and disappears into the forest, where the terrain continues to favor it. This encounter reveals a clear truth. The jaguar does not only rule the jungle, but also stands as a real challenge to creatures long considered masters of the wetlands. African buffalo are symbols of raw power. A full-grown individual can weigh more than 2,000 pounds, carrying thick, curved horns like cold steel, an active defense that forces most land predators to keep their distance. Yet no advantage holds value in every terrain, especially at the fragile boundary where solid ground gives way to water. From beneath the murky surface, the ambusher launches a short, precise surge, aiming to pull the struggle into deeper water, where current and resistance work in its favor. Against an adult buffalo, the balance is difficult to break. Superior mass and legs planted like driven posts allow it to angle backward, dragging the encounter onto shallow sand. Forced out of the water, the crocodile reveals its weakness and loosens its grip to preserve a path of retreat. With a calf, the situation is far more fragile. A lighter body and untested footing mean that a single moment outside the protective circle can create an opening. The approach remains the same. Close in at the water's edge, separate the target from stable ground, and draw the encounter into deeper water. For this reason, when a crocodile is seen stranded on land, the buffalo's response is decisive. Head lowered, steps driven forward, it pressures the opponent back toward the water's boundary, where the rules immediately shift. Each year, the migration cycle drives tens of thousands of wildebeest across more than 500 miles of the East African savanna. The Serengeti trembles with pounding hooves and dust rising dozens of feet, all funneling toward a single bottleneck: river crossings on the route to new grazing grounds. For wildebeest, water is a mandatory gate. For crocodiles, it is a season of opportunity. Beneath the murky surface, a Nile crocodile weighing up to about 1,200 pounds can remain motionless for weeks, even months, conserving energy. When the herd crowds the bank, the sheer density turns the formation into a living current that can fracture. One animal losing rhythm in the strong flow or bumping into submerged rocks is enough to open a gap. In that instant, the crocodile drives its armored body forward in a short burst of speed. In the swirl, A wildebeest weighing around 550 pounds struggles to keep its balance. But in water, the advantage shifts to the one that chose the terrain. With a gripping force that can reach about 3,700 pounds per square inch, the crocodile clamps down and pulls its target into deeper water, where an opponent has a harder time holding steady. The migration continues, pressing towards the far bank. In the Serengeti, the crocodile is not a symbol of destruction, but a quiet, regulating force, keeping the savanna's rhythm from pushing beyond its limits. The hippopotamus appears like a living fortress. An adult weighs close to 3,000 pounds, with broad shoulders and dense muscle pressing its full mass into the water. Its jaws can open nearly 150 degrees, and lower canines stretching over 20 inches are not for hunting, but for asserting boundaries. The slow exterior is only the surface. Beneath it lies pressure that forces any challenger to think twice. Along the marsh edge, the crocodile operates like a shadow. It lowers its body, blends into the water, and reads every vibration. When a young hippo drifts outside the protective ring, a fragile moment opens. A sudden, close approach targets the gap, using surprise before order can close again. But against a fully grown hippo, the balance shifts immediately. The crocodile is pushed out of its advantage and into shallow water, an unfavorable zone where multiple hippos can form a closing front. An adult hippo, with an estimated bite force of around 1,800 pounds per square inch, combined with sheer weight and coordinated movement, creates pressure that allows no margin for error, and the encounter ends as quickly as it began. Impalas are the athletes of the savanna. Slender bodies, spring-loaded leaps, and burst speeds reaching around 50 miles per hour when startled. For that reason, they often approach watering holes at early morning or late afternoon, when temperatures are cooler and the herd can maintain collective awareness. Yet this familiar routine draws impalas closest to the most dangerous boundary, the water's edge. Just below the surface, a crocodile lowers its body and moves in without a sound. Along the jaws, pressure-sensing organs read even the smallest ripples touching the mud. When an individual bends down and the distance closes to just a few feet, a short, sudden surge turns terrain advantage into instant control. The surface barely ripples, then settles again. In the wild, ambushes at drinking sites offer crocodiles a high success rate, especially against medium-sized hoofed animals like impalas. Outcomes still depend on current strength, herd alertness, and individual experience. But in many situations, The edge at the water outperforms long pursuits on land by lions or leopards. A final roar brings the chase to a close, and the grassland resumes its quiet rhythm under the steady law of survival. Whether prevailing or escaping, it is the one who remains composed and seizes the right moment who endures. This is nature's reminder: balance always carries a cost. For those who wish to continue following stories from the wild like this, pressing like helps support the journey, and subscribing ensures the next chapter, where the laws of survival unfold once again, is never missed.